Hello everyone, this is Rachel with Mic Drop Miniatures, and today I'm going to show you how to make this picnic table. This is a 1/12 scale picnic table. It represents a 6-foot table in real life. First thing we want to do is grab our A pieces. This is going to be the top of our picnic table. We need 5 of them out of the 9. And I'm going to flip them over so the good side is down. If you do have any tape on the back of your pieces, make sure to remove those before starting. Okay, so I put some Lego pieces together. This is going to help me make sure that my pieces are square. I find they're really handy and, well, they're cheap, especially if you have a few Legos just laying around. So let's grab the supports. This is B. There's 2 of them. And we're going to make sure that the big side is facing down. And you want to make sure that the dots, I put these on here just to represent like nail holes, are facing out. Now I'm just going to take a pin and I am going to make sure that they're evenly spaced. So this picnic table came in the Dollhouse Miniature subscription box. It's a bi-monthly box that ships to your door every other month. Okay, so for here I'm going to use F, and I'm just going to use F for a spacer to make sure that each side is evenly spaced. So I'm going to glue the bottoms. Make sure this is so glue the bottoms and then put them into place. Again, making sure that the dots are on the outside. Okay, so we're going to glue those into place, making sure that they're square, and you're going to want to let that fully dry. Now, for the purpose of this video, I do have a dried piece. So let's take this away and let's grab my dried piece. Here I already added the legs, so that's what we're going to do next. And making sure that there's my holes on the outside. Alright, so let's grab these pieces. This is D, there's 4 of them. And your pieces will have a marking in the middle. And this is going to show us where to put the supports. So we are going to add these, making sure to put some glue on a little bit on the top and the bottom and put these into place. How you know where to put them is you want to make it flush right there with the side support piece right there. So it kind of makes like an X. And same on the other side. So it makes kind of an X. And so your supports on the outside. Alright, so let's go ahead and add these. And again, you want to put those into place and let them dry fully. And next we are going to make the benches. So we're going to grab those other 4 A pieces, making sure that the good side is facing down. And then this is where F, remember those little spacers that we used? We are now going to glue those in the very middle of the bench. You can measure this to make sure you have it exact. I'm just going to eyeball it. And you want to make sure that the ends are flush, and you're going to glue it right to each side. And again, you want to make sure that this fully dries. I know that's like the hardest part of making miniatures, is waiting for glue to dry. I just love these little Legos. They come in so handy when you want to make sure your pieces are flush. Alright, so again, for training purposes, voila, have them ready for us to assemble. So there's our benches. Alright, so next we are going to add the supports, which are C, to our legs. There's 2 of these. You are going to want to make sure that, see these markings now that we have, you want to make sure that you're gluing your thing to the very bottom of the markings. Okay. Another important step here is you want to make sure that the notch is facing up. And you kind of just want to eyeball this, make sure that it's centered. And another way that you can center that, let me just add it here and I'll show you. Kind of get it into place. So if you take just hold this into place just a little bit to get it to get tacky. So you can take your bench and you can kind of go on one side, making sure that it's kind of even, and then go to the other side, making sure that it's going to fit. That's how I just kind of eyeball it to make sure that it's centered. So here I'm just holding this in place for a little bit. You can clamp it. I really like using, if you don't have clamps, you can use paper binders. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the other side and just do the same thing. Make sure that using the bench, oh yes, and glue on the very bottom of that marking. So I'm going to make sure each side is kind of level, like my bench is going to fit nice. And here we're just going to add glue. All right. So, and if you got this picnic table, you either probably got it on my website store, or you got it in the Dollhouse Miniature subscription box. This is a fun way to get miniatures shipped to your door every other month. If you want to check that out, you can head to minisubscriptionbox.com. So again, I'm just holding this in place for a little bit. It's looking so great. And you want to make sure that this is dry. For training purposes, I do not have a dried piece, so I'm just going to pray that it stays together and it doesn't fall apart for the next steps. But I would definitely let it dry. Okay, so let's grab the middle support, which is G, and we also are going to grab E. And so this is going to fit into that slot on the top. And then you're going to slide it into one of the supports on G. So here what I like to do to find the middle, again, you can measure, use a ruler. I just like to put them into place and find the center, whatever is easiest for you. So when I feel like I have the center, I will take just a marker or a pen, pencil, and just kind of mark that. So then I know where to glue. Okay, let's put the middle down, hold it, put these side supports on. I love my little mini glue bottle. It's so nice when you're doing miniatures and you just need a little bit of glue. See, this is probably the trickiest part because it tends to want to fall. So you kind of got to hold it. This is when you wish you had like a third hand. Oops, I just noticed I had mine upside down. All right, here we go. I'll put this in place. And to help me, I am going to grab a tool here. We'll grab our tape. And this is just going to help it stay together. Because either way, you flip it the other way, the support in the middle will fall down. And if you leave it this way, then the leg could fall down. So we are just going to tape it to reassure that it stays. All right, there it is. There's our table. I'll let that dry. And then we are going to add our seats. So again, I'm just eyeballing to make sure where the center is. And I would definitely let the bottom dry before adding this, but I am going to add this just for this purpose of this video. All right, and let it dry. And voila, here it is, our table. Take off the tape. This has fully dried. So for this table, you can leave it the way it is. You can paint it. You can stain it. I'd love to see what you do with this. So please take me on social media at Mic Drop Miniatures so I can see all your creations. And make sure to stop back because I have tons of tutorials all the time. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're a subscriber to the Dollhouse Miniature subscription box, thank you so much for watching and for being a subscriber.